In this video, we're going to catch up with what's been happening with a couple of popular foreign exchange pairs, euro dollar and pound US dollar. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com. This is the weekly update where we take a look at the euro and the pound. We saw some big moves last week. We saw the pound trade down to 129, then bounce back as the week went on, and the euro also broke a big level, which gives us, I think, a really interesting setup for the week ahead. It's something of a quiet start to the week, a bit of a slow one, and it starts picking up on Wednesday when it comes to data. We've got UK GDP data, 9:30 Wednesday morning. That's how well or not is the UK economy doing, and 0.2% is what's expected here in terms of growth over the last quarter. Then on Thursday afternoon, we've got US inflation data, and the consumer price index in the US is expected to come in around 2.8%. So even though it's maybe something of a quiet week for data, I think because of how these markets ended last week, the pound and the euro, I think it could still be an interesting couple of days when the week gets started. So let's take a look at the pound first of all, and some of the levels to watch out for if we're trading it this week. So we're on the daily chart of pound US dollar. We had been recovering since the middle of August and then selling off since these highs, these 133 highs. But I think as I was saying last week, I'd still be expecting the market to push higher. It did sell off back to 129, and this had been good support back here. So going into this week, although last week it finished off just below 131.20, so we're a couple of hundred points away from this old support. I think if we get any weakness, watch to see how it reacts if we do get back to 129. So for now, maybe we've seen the end of this weakness. Maybe we'll see a bit of choppiness to start the week. But as long as 129 holds, I think the target is going to be for a run back to 133 minimum. Let's take a look on the hourly chart. So you can see the strong finish to the week on Friday of last week, closing up pretty near the highs of the day. We've got an obvious trend that's been moving along here. So I think some shorter term levels to watch. If we did see the market under pressure, we have those big levels left at 129, just ahead of 129. But you can see also October the 4th, it trades down to 130 and then comes back to it on October the 5th. So again, I think for short term traders looking at the hourly charts, this zone here, 130, if we see any weakness, if we see the market lose 100 points at the beginning of the week, watch to see how it performs down here. But for now, a positive finish to the week for pound US dollar. 129 was big support last week, so it wouldn't surprise me to see buyers come in on weakness. In the short term, on the hourly, it is overbought. You can see the RSI. We're pretty overbought on the shorter term RSI. It's the most overbought we've been since back here, the third week of September. So maybe there's scope for a bit of weakness from here. But I'll be watching this old 129, 130 level first of all for an area for a potential bounce. So some really easy levels to remember. 129 was the low from last week. That's the big support. But the interim support was at 130. So I think if we did see some weakness, the test will be, do we see the buyers come back in? Now the euro in recent weeks had been holding above 115. It broke below it last week, euro dollar, but it has bounced back. So it's interesting as to whether or not this is a false break. So it's given us another level to watch right from the start of the week for the euro dollar. So let's take a look at that one. Here's the euro dollar daily chart. I think we've got an interesting setup this week. We know that 118, 118.50 has been capping this market. We ended the week 300 points away from this area. So it's not too important at the moment. What I think is interesting is that it did lose 115 last week. This had been really good support since the third week of August. It sold off, but it did spend Thursday and Friday trying to get back up above it. So this is the area to watch, I think. Was this a false break? If you thought that the euro was going to rally this week, go higher, then the aggressive trade is for a stop under these lows. So somewhere beyond 114.60. That's how low the market slipped. Adding some weight to the argument that maybe the move has been overdone, we do have an oversold RSI. It's the first time this 10-day RSI has been oversold since early August. So I think it's interesting. So like I say, the aggressive trade, let's see if these old lows hold ahead of 114.60. Let's take a quick look at the short-term chart. Here's the hourly chart. Maybe what's backing up here that this is a false break. It all happened in an hour. See this candlestick here. then we didn't get any follow through. The market did hold above those 114.60 lows. So that really is the big level to watch, I think, going into this week. If we saw the market sell off earlier in the week, maybe back towards 115, do we see the buyers come back in? Does 114.60 hold? So that's the level to watch. On the flip side, I think if we get a break below 114.60, the risk is for the start of a move lower still. It then doesn't look like the break below 115 was a false one. So for me, 114.60 is really the big euro level this week. So 114.50, 114.60 did hold the market up last week after that break, which only lasted an hour. We didn't really get any follow through after that. So it's going to be interesting if we do see the euro under a bit of pressure early this week. Do we see those old lows from last week hold again? So I think even though, as I say, a bit of a quiet week for data, still plenty to watch right from the start of the week. We'll start wrapping things up there, but as usual, don't forget that we produce lots of different videos during the week. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up below. It helps us reach a wider audience. If you have any questions or comments, leave us a message in the comments down below. We do read all of them. And to never miss out on the content we produce, there's been a couple of videos that have gone up on trading using price action in recent weeks, and there are a few more of those to go up later this week. So to never miss out, make sure you're subscribed by clicking subscribe, and if you click that alarm bell notification, you get automatically notified every time we upload a new video. But for this week, from the euro and the pound, we'll leave it there. So from me, David Jones, and Capital.com, I hope you have a good trading week.